Now, 1.4 billion people with 486 ships. You've got to be kidding me. 95% of our merchandise trade is carried by foreign ships. Now, look at the danger of this from a strategic perspective. We have the technology, we have the people, we have the coastline, we have the steel, and yet we are not participating. This is an absolutely dangerous situation. I would argue that this is now the single biggest danger to national security, not. We will, in maybe 24 months, 36 months, we'll become the world's third largest economy. Yeah. Now, let me tell you, already 95% of our merchandise trade is carried by foreign ships. 95%. Paying for that shipping freight and other insurance, etc., is, I think, our second or third largest import. Okay? This is ridiculous just from an economic perspective. Now, look at the danger of this from a strategic perspective. Let's say there is a geopolitical incident which places us in a situation where 3 or 4 of the large shipping lines in the world decide to stop carrying our goods. We would be on our knees within weeks. This is an absolutely dangerous situation. I would argue that this is now the single biggest danger to national security, not being able to.
You mentioned a number, less than 500 long-range ships.
Absolutely. Indian has only 1,500 cargo ships. 1,500, it's less than 1,500 in fact. Of which 486 are really for long-range international trade. Now, 1.4 billion people with 486 ships, you've got to be kidding me. We are a country that's dependent on all kinds of things, from oil to name it, on shipping and trading with other countries. Those countries may be entirely willing to trade with us. It's just that we can't get it there or bring stuff back. So this is an economic danger. It's a strategic danger, but also, very importantly, it's a huge opportunity that's just staring us in the face. So just think about it. Okay, we're one of the few countries in the world which can build aircraft carriers, nuclear subs today. Okay, now shipbuilding is one of those activities that needs young people, because in the end it's about a lot of welding. We have a long coastline, and we ourselves need a lot of trade. So we have the technology, we have the people, we have the coastline, we have the steel. And yet we are not participating in what is a hugely lucrative business, which we need economically and we need strategically. Now, this is, in my mind, an absolute no-brainer.
Sanjeev, I'm going to come back to you. I want you to hold that thought, but I want to ask you, in a country where everyone who's graduating or even not graduating with a college degree wants to be in a startup, how do you make the shipping industry and the oceans economy more attractive?
Lots of stuff to do in shipping. My God, you can start with engines, and engines of all kinds. India probably can build the hull. We can build all this rest of the stuff. But in case there are any engineers in there, we still don't have the capability of building high-end, particularly green turbines and engines for ships. So, huge opportunity if anybody knows how to do this stuff.
What are the kind of partnerships we are looking for? Is Europe and its Global Gateway project an opportunity? Is the new Trump administration and their determination to build trustworthy supply lines and supply chains, again, something that we should be counting on? How is India looking at funding and fueling its maritime ambitions?
So, as far as international linkages are concerned, the two linkages that are critical to this are going to be Korea and Japan. You have to know that shipbuilding is a young man's job. It's a lot of welding. You cannot computerize this. You cannot use robots. You have to climb up and down scaffolding and weld pieces together and then sail them. Indians already count for some 20% of the world sailors. I don't know if people know this.
I think this morning they said some 10 to 15%.
No, it is now very close to 20%. Okay. So it's a very high proportion it's the single largest source of sailors in the world today. Now, there is no way Korea and Japan can sustain this. They just don't have the young people. They become too rich. It's a rough and sometimes dangerous work. So this is something that India is ripe to take from them. I have a feeling that Korean and Japanese companies will be pleased to send it to a country like India if we create the systems of receiving it. So part of it is on our end of creating the
Policy ecosystem.
the real estate, etc., that is needed for taking this business. I don't think they would be unhappy about parting with it. Number one. Secondly, there are also countries like the US, we just discussed, which are actually an opportunity. For example, we are likely to buy American aircraft into the foreseeable future, commercial particularly. Why can't America buy our ships?
So engines for ships.
Engines for ships. Engines are basically for fighter jets.
Correct.
But I'm saying for passenger, most of what we will buy will basically be passenger aircraft. And a lot of it will come from Boeing or Lockheed or whatever. Why not have the idea that we can become the Boeing of shipbuilding?